Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn the second unit, Accounts of Not-for-Profit Organization. Before that, I would like to talk to you something regarding the homework that I have given to you from the first lesson. Very few of you have written that sums and you have sent it through WhatsApp, but others have not sent it. So try to complete the problems and send them during these holidays. Okay, so today I am going to explain the second lesson, Accounts of Not for Profit Organization. Before going to learn this lesson, let us recollect some of the things that we have studied and which are very useful for this lesson. That in 11th we have studied the one lesson, capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. Capital and revenue items, isn't it? Either it may be expenditure or receipt. So first of all, you should know what is capital expenditure. Capital nature, it may be either capital expenditure or receipts. Understand? So when we call a particular expenditure or receipt is of capital nature, when it occurs only once, that means not frequently, not frequent transaction. Very rare only that particular transaction will be happen, that is of capital nature. Either it may be expenditure. For example, we purchase a land or we build a building or furniture we buy for use. All these we spend for all these items. We do that one only once or twice, maybe very few times. But it doesn't happen on the day-to-day affair, every day or every week, every month. It doesn't happen. But very rare and maybe often it may be done only once. And it is of a large amount. The amount may be large. All these transactions will come under capital nature, capital expenditure and capital receipt. Then what are revenue nature? The opposite of capital. It will be occurred very often, maybe daily or weekly, monthly. Understand? It may happen. Then it is the money spent to run the business or business operations. Money spent on business operations. And it will be of less amount, when comparatively less amount with the capital nature. And one more you have to remember, the final accounts. This you know because we have done in the first lesson also. Final accounts, you know, trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet. Here it is called in another way, not the trading and profit and loss account. It is called income and expenditure account and balance sheet. Okay, now I will explain the introduction. What is the meaning of not-for-profit organization? Here, from the name itself, by hearing not-for-profit organization, that means their main aim is not making profit. If the aim is not making profit, then what is the aim of starting this organization, this type of organization? The aim is to render services to the public or society, whoever it is. What type of service they do? What type of services they do? They may promote an art or culture, then education, or that educational institution will come under not-for-profit organization. Then sports, sports and recreation club, then cultural societies, hospitals, hospitals, libraries, then any literary organizations. All these are some of the examples of not-for-profit organization. These organizations are also called non-profit organization. Not-for-profit organization is also called non-profit organization or non-trading concerns. Non-trading concerns. When we were studying this non-trading concern only, it was called. Only this year they have changed this into not-for-profit organizations. Understood in the new syllabus. So you might have understood this meaning. Not-for-profit organizations' main aim is not making profit. Instead, they render services to the public without any profit motive. They may promote art. That is the main intention to start an organization, is to promote art, culture, education, sports, cultural societies, then hospitals, libraries, and literary organization. This not-for-profit organization is also called non-profit organization or non-trading concerns. Then what if they do not make any profit? What is their income? How they run this type of institutions? How they run? They raise funds through donations. That is, say they get donation from the parents of our children, isn't it, to run the institution. Then grant from government also they may get. If it is a management school, they will get grant from government. Aided school, we used to say, isn't it? That grant in aid, that is called. Grant in aid. That's why we call a short aid or grant from the government. And sometimes they will receive the subscriptions from the members. Any magazines, if we need to get religious magazines, what we do, we yearly subscription or life membership fees we send, and they will be sending some books. So they may receive subscription from the members. Through these three ways they will raise funds. That is their main source of income. And what they do, because they receive and they spend something, they must account all the receipts and cash. Here we never call that in profit and loss account. Here when they receive this donation or grant from government subscription, they have to show in the receipts and payments account. So they have to account all the cash, receipts and payments in books of accounts. Then at the end of the financial year, like the trading concern, they also must prepare the final accounts. Understood? They have to prepare their final accounts. The name of that final accounts may differ. From this final accounts, they will not if they have received more, or if their income is more than the expenditure, that is called surplus. From the final accounts, they can come to know whether it is surplus or deficit. Deficit means shortage. Surplus means more income they have than the expenditure. If the expenditure is more, then they will have deficit. And at last, financial position. How much land they have, how many buildings they have. They will then office furniture or any office equipments if they have got. All these they will value and they will calculate the financial position of the not-for-profit organization. Understood? Now we will learn again the features of not-for-profit organization. So what are the features? From the meaning that we have studied, we can say the features. First feature is these not-for-profit organizations, they are running without any profit motive. Without profit motive. That is the main feature. From the name itself, not for profit. So they are not running without any profit motive. Then next one, if they are running without any profit motive, what is their main aim? Main aim is to provide services. Provide services to a specific group. Everybody we cannot say. They join together, some people, one club. All the club members, for the benefit of those club members only, they will be working, so doing service, either for a specific group or public at large, fully. Or public at large. Here, they do not carry on any trading activities. They do not conduct any trading activities. What is the meaning trading activities? Trading means they buy and sell. They never purchase and sell any products. Okay, they do not undertake any business activities, any trading activities. That is the third feature. Then what is that fourth one? What is their main source of income? Main source of income is, we have studied, isn't it? One, subscription, then subscription, donation, and grant in aid. In short, we say aid, grant in aid, and sometimes legacies. What is this legacies? For example, I will explain this legacies. What is meant by legacies? Legacies means, for example, one person is there under one church or any temple. That person, he may like to give all his property to the church or to the temple. He will write and give as a legacy, free of cost. He will not get any amount from them. He may not sell that one, but on free of cost he will write and give that one. With his full will and wish, he will give that particular land or property, whatever he has, to that church. That is called legacies. Granting something, the particular private person may give that his property to that institution, not-for-profit organization. That is called legacies. This grant, from the government we get. Donation, from many people we can collect. Subscription, we collect from the members. Either it may be monthly or yearly or lifelong. It may be as per their wish. So all these four are the features of not-for-profit organizations. And that what we studied in the meaning only, it is coming. Okay. So because they collect this income, they have to prepare the final accounts. Now we will see what are the names of final accounts. First, they have to prepare receipts and payments account. Receipts and payments account. Because they receive through subscription, donation, grant in aid, legacies. So they have to prepare the receipts and the payments. Any payment that they make, maybe the expenses what they have made, all these they have to enter on the payment account. So receipts and payment account. Then after that, they have to prepare income and expenditure account. This income and expenditure account is prepared instead of the profit and loss account. From this, they can calculate the surplus or deficit. if the income is more than the expenditure, we get surplus. Okay, if the income is more, we get surplus. If the expenditure is more, we will get deficit. Then after that, they have to prepare balance sheet with all the properties they have and the loan, all the liabilities. They have to all the all the revenue nature will be coming in revenue income and expenditure account, all the revenue items as it is in the profit and loss account. Here which item we will enter? All the capital items, capital income, capital expenditure. Here revenue and revenue income, revenue expenditure will be entered in the income and expenditure account. But in the receipts and payments account, everything will be coming together. All the receipt, whether it is revenue or capital, then all the payments, whether it is revenue or capital, will be entered in the capital receipts and payments account. Now, if an organization, which organization? Not for profit organization is registered. If it is registered in the Indian Companies Act, they can register. But it will be registered under Indian Companies Act. There is no separate act for registering this not-for-profit organization. Along with the other organizations only, they have to register under this act. They have to follow all the rules and regulations regarding the registration. So they have to, if an organization is registered under Indian Companies Act 2018, there is a section as per section 8. Then they have to prepare their income and expenditure account and balance sheet as per the Schedule 3 of the Indian Companies Act 2013. Understood? So if an organization is registered as under section 8 of the Indian Companies Act, that organization has to prepare income and expenditure account and balance sheet as per the Schedule 3 of the Companies Act 2013. So now we are going to learn how to prepare receipts and payments account, income and expenditure account and balance sheet. How to prepare this one, but it is not as per this section Schedule 3 of the Companies Act 2013 ordinary, because most of the not for profit organizations are not registered. Understand? Not registered under Companies Act. It may be getting a license from the government, it may be run. But what we are going to see, not as per the Schedule 3, a common format we are going to prepare. So first we will learn the income and expenditure, receipts and payments account. Receipts and payments account. The first one, receipts and payments account. It is very easy and simple to understand, and around 5 problems are there in this receipts and payments account. So you can do if you listen carefully. Usually they may ask this one for 3 marks or even 5 marks also they may ask you. Okay, listen carefully now. So what is the meaning of receipts and payments account? It is a summary of, because we summarize all the summary of all cash and bank transactions. It is a summary of all cash and bank transactions. What we receive, what we pay, that is it. In cash or in the bank. Through check, if we receive, it will come under bank. So it is a summary of cash and bank transactions of not-for-profit organizations. Not-for-profit organizations at the end of each financial year. End of each financial year. That is called receipts and payments account. Okay, this is a summary of cash and bank transactions of not-for-profit organizations prepared at the end of each financial year. Then next one, just I will explain that point by point. It is a real account in nature. Real account. You know the rules, isn't it? What is the rule for real account? What should be debited? What should be credited? All debit what comes in, isn't it? Debit what comes in. Credit what goes out. So with this principle only we are preparing this receipts and payments account. So we should debit all the receipt. Okay, all the receipt on the debit side. Receipts, all the payments on the credit side. Understood? Receipts on the debit side, payments on the credit side. Okay, it is a real account. I have explained all these things to you. This account, receipts and payments account, begins with opening cash and bank balances. Opening balances and ends with closing balances. Understand? It starts with opening balances of cash and bank and ends with closing balances of cash and bank. Then I taught you, after this one we will enter all the receipts on the debit side, all the payments on the credit side. Then which type of receipts and payments? All capital and revenue receipts and payments. Capital and revenue items will be entered. Not only capital, both capital and revenue receipts and payments will be recorded in the receipts and payments account. And the fifth one, all the capital and revenue, all these things, if it is related to the current year or previous year and subsequent year. Subsequent year means next year. If a payment is related to current year, we have to enter. If your payment is related to the last year, now only we are paying, that also should be entered in the receipts and payments account. A particular payment is related to the next year, but if we pay this year, we have to enter. So all current year payment and receipt, previous year payment and receipt, subsequent year's payment and receipt, everything should be. If we pay this year, we have to write on that year's receipts and payments account. So there is no need to worry about the period of that particular expenditure or income. Understood? But which one will not come? Non-cash items. Because only that is receipt and payment of cash and bank. If we have not received a particular expenditure, for example, depreciation, we deduct a particular sum from the value of the asset, that will be appearing. Then outstanding expense, that salary related to last year. If we pay this year, we will write, but current year's outstanding, we will not enter. In the same way, any accrued income. For example, rent, last year's rent, or no, to this year's rent, but we have not yet received, that should not be entered there. All this will be appearing in the income and expenditure account. Understood? So any Non-cash items such as depreciation, outstanding expenses, accrued income. This will not appear in receipts and payment account. Okay. So all these points you might have understood. Now we will see the steps in preparation of the same thing will be coming again in the under the steps. What is the first step? First step, you have when we start the problem, you have to write the question number and you have to draw the column. That is what very important. When we start doing, first you should record the opening balance. Balance of cash in hand, opening balance of cash in hand and cash at bank. Which side we have to write? Cash in hand, cash at bank. Cash at bank we may get two balance. Okay, here the favorable balance. That means cash at bank there, credit balance. In the bank, here debit. So cash in hand and cash at bank. On the debit side we have to enter. Understand? If cash at bank is overdraft, there is no cash at bank. Instead, we have only overdraft. They will give us credit balance. Cash at bank credit balance if they give, that is overdraft. This will be recorded on the credit side of the receipts and payments account. Okay, it begins with recording the opening balance of cash in hand and cash at bank on the receipts and payments account on the debit side. Then if it is bank overdraft, we have to enter on the credit side by balance brought down. Understand? By balance brought down you have to write. Or to balance brought down if it is debit balance. Then what is the next step? We have to enter all actual cash receipts. Actual cash receipts. Why it is written actual cash receipts? What we have received actually. Recorded on the debit side. All actual cash payments are recorded on the credit side. Okay, that's all. Then one more point you should remember here, not a step, but you should remember while recording this cash receipts and cash payment, do not worry about the nature of the cash payment, whether it is capital or revenue. What we will enter? Both capital and revenue items are entered. Both capital and revenue items are entered on the cash receipts and payments. No need to distinguish between capital and revenue. But that will be done only in the income and expenditure account. And the period also. Do not worry about the period. The current year receipt and payment, then the previous years, the subsequent years. Everything will be entered in the receipts and payments account. Understood? Then now we will balance. Actually we are entering first one, this one, isn't it? Then what we do? We have to balance the receipts and payments account. If debit side is more total, debit side there is more total, we will get the closing side we have to write by balance carry down. Debit balance we will get. That is called, the debit side is more, debit balance. How debit balance? We will write there by balance carry down. This will be written on the next year to balance brought down. That is what we will call as debit balance. If the total, not balance, the total is more. If it is more on the credit side, we will get credit balance. That is maybe bank overdraft. If the credit balance, that is called bank overdraft. Understood now? That's all. We have to make the steps to prepare the receipts and payments account. In the book, they have given one format of receipts and payments account that I will show to you, and I will explain each and every item. So you have to learn this introduction, then meaning, then features, then the steps, everything you learn, and the format also you learn. Then tomorrow onwards we will start doing problems. Okay. Do not be afraid by seeing many items here. Actually, they may give around 4, 5, 10 items to write both the side, around 5 items. Okay, so don't worry, but they have given many items. If you are thorough in this receipts and payments, it will be easy for you to do the problems. Okay, so now you see format of receipts and payments account. There are 2 pages you have to take. Left side debtor, creditor, then receipts, left hand side, payments right hand side, 2 amount column, inner column, outer column. You have to write rupees. Now it starts with the opening balance. That is the first step. To balance brought down, cash in hand, cash at bank, write and add and write straight to this amount in the outer column. Then they have separated and given. So for you to find out. Now this will be good for you to do the income and expenditure account. So what are the revenue receipt, subscription, entrance fees? If we have one sports club, any entrance fees that we collect, often we will collect. Then all general donations, then grant in aid, that also we get often. Then sale of old newspapers, interest on investment, all this revenue income. Then dividend received, locker rent received, then any other receipt. Okay, then what are the capital receipt? Life membership fees. They life membership fees we receive one time only, that is a given capital receipt. Then donation for specific purpose, any for specific purpose we will receive only once, so that will come under capital receipt. This legacy is also every time nobody will give their private property to this institution, so this also will be very rare. Then endowment fund, this also they will keep a fund for special purposes. Sale of fixed assets. A fixed asset we never sell often. Any time, no, if we found it is not having any use, we will sell that fixed asset, maybe a car, but we never use it, sell it often. So that is also capital receipt. Then sale of investment, then receipt for specific purpose or fund. Specific purpose fund. Okay, if we receive any receipt from the specific purpose fund, that also capital receipt. Interest on specific fund investment. All the specific fund if they give, that is which nature? Capital nature. Then all the payment side, it will start with bank overdraft. If there is bank overdraft, you have to write by balance brought down, bank overdraft. Then all the revenue payments, all the expenditure, the revenue expenditures, salaries, rent paid, electricity charges, postage, rent and tax, insurance premium, then advertisement, telephone charges, entertainment expense, then audit fees, because we conduct audit every year, isn't it? So repairs, upkeep of ground. If it is that sports club, they have to upkeep the ground, that is also done often. Then conveyance charges, travel, the conveyance charges, newspapers and periodicals that they purchase every day or periodicals weekly, monthly. Then office expense, gardening expense, other expense, that is called sundry expense. Then the capital payments are fixed assets. If we purchase a land or building, all these fixed assets, everything will come together. Land, building, plant, machinery. So here plant and machinery will not come. They are not running a manufacturing organization. Okay. Then furniture they may use in the office. So that is fixed asset. Then investments, if we have invested in other organization, that is also a capital payment. Then repayment of loan. we might have given loan for someone. No, we might have received some loan from some people that we are paying now. That is also capital payment. Every time we may not repay that loan. Then that closing balance, cash in hand, this may be the balancing figure. Either they may give cash in hand, we have to calculate cash at bank. If that this side is more, we have to write here to balance carry down bank overdraft. But if we cash in hand given there, here this side is more, then we will get cash at bank. This one, add and write the total amount here. You know how to balance the receipt and payment account, isn't it? So you learn this lesson. I'll read everything and I will check now whether any question answer there. I will mark and give. Let us mark the one word first. Choose the correct answer. Receipts and payments account is a real account. We studied. The receipts and payments account records receipts and payments of revenue nature, capital nature, both revenue and capital nature. This one. Balance of receipts and payments account indicates cash and bank balance as on the date. Then income and expenditure we will learn and afterwards we will mark. Very short answer question. First one, state the meaning of not-for-profit organization. It is in page number 40. Under the heading introduction, you have to write. The first point, some organizations are established for the purpose of rendering service to the public without any profit motive. Then second point, they may be created for the promotion of art, culture, education, sports, etc. Third point, these organizations are called not-for-profit organization. These 3 points will do. Now second question. Second one, what is receipts and payments account? Page number 41. Under receipts and payments account, you mark the first point. This first paragraph as the first point. Receipts and payments account is a summary of cash and bank transactions of not-for-profit organizations prepared at the end of each financial year. Then second point, it is a real account in nature. Then third point, the receipts and payments account begins with the opening balances of cash and bank and ends with the closing balances of cash and bank. 3 points. 3 points will do. But if you need, you can write all cash receipts are shown on the debit side. It is very easy. You can write all cash payments are shown on the credit side of this account. At these 4 points, I think you can write. Okay. To that you have to mark. So I have marked only 2 questions are available. Then learn this one and read that I have taught you today. And then the format of receipts and payments account you read and try to understand. Only then it will be easy for you to do all the problems in this particular unit. Okay students, thank you now.